If you want to build personal wealth in Starfield, you need a valuable product that's light enough to carry with you and sell wherever you go. Stay tuned as I show you how to run an 80s Vice LARP in Starfield and build a pharmaceutical empire that'll make you all the amps you need to buy ships, bullets, meds, and anything else you'd want really, with plenty left over for personal use to zoom around the maps with, because here in the far future, we don't have ground vehicles. Fantastic. Let's get going. We'll start by heading over to the commercial district of New Atlantis here in Jemison, heading over to UC Distribution and talking to this lady to buy our first set of resources. Buy everything you see on the screen. You could buy everything you need for the whole guide in one go, but it gets heavy and you have to manage inventory and so on. Just easier to buy it in batches. So let's buy these, take the tram back to the spaceport, and buy more resources here at Jemison Mercantile. And when you're done, dump everything into your ship and fast travel over to the Bessel system, where we'll head to Bessel III and try to find a biome border between mountains and rocky desert for iron and aluminium. You could try to find nickel too and other resources, but it's not needed at all for this guide, so let's keep life simple and just find the 2 resources. And also don't forget to carry 51 iron, 22 aluminium, 2 beryllium, and 2 zero wire with you. When you find iron and aluminium overlapping, place down your outpost and build yourself an industrial workbench from which you'll make 18 adaptive frames. With those and the rest of the materials you were carrying, put down your large landing pad, then fast travel away and fast travel back to bring your ship to the landing pad, and you can build from its inventory. Put down 3 aluminium and 3 iron extractors, enough power to get everything going, and then wait for an hour for your extractors to fill. And with those resources, put down about 10 solid container storages for each resource, and then daisy chain them all up together and connect your extractors to them. And then wait for everything to fill up, and then grab some iron and aluminium and take it with you back to the Alpha Centauri system. And here on the bottom left, we're going to go to the moon Zamka, where we're going to try to find copper and nickel together next to each other in the frozen plains and the hills biomes. Find a border between them, land, and then run around the border again between the 2 biomes until you find copper and nickel overlapping. Don't forget to bring resources for your large landing pad. Plunk down your outpost, and it's the same drill as before. Put down a large landing pad, fast travel away and back, 3 extractors for copper, 3 for nickel, and then about 5 boxes for each of those resources. Don't forget power, and then we are done here. We're going to head over to the moon Voss, just across from Zamka. And on Voss, we're looking for tungsten. And now we can't scan for that yet, but anywhere at all in the grey should have tungsten. Just land anywhere in the grey and pull out your outpost to see whether or not there's tungsten. If you're unlucky enough to not have it, then just land somewhere else. The dozen or so times I've tried it, there's always been tungsten in the grey. So plunk down your outpost, you know the drill. Landing pad, 3 extractors, 5 cargo containers. Enough power to get everything going, and then after we're done, we're going to head back to the commercial district, and this time we're going to buy scientific materials. Buy all of these things that you find. Some of them will be in the aid section, not the resource section of the inventory. And then head to Jemison Mercantile and buy some more. You shouldn't need to reset vendors. Just one trip to UC Distribution and Jemison Mercantile will do. Then head up to the poles, where you'll find argon here in the dark blue. When you land, your ship creates a nice flat area, which is what we're going to use to build on. So just plunk your outpost just below where your ship has landed, but make sure that there's enough room in argon deposits to put about 10 or 12 extractors on. And then put down your landing pad and make yourself a little crafting area. You do have a cooking station and a research place in your ship already, but I like to have everything in one little area, and start putting points in. You need to put 4 points into science to unlock botany 1 for this guy to work. You can put whatever 4 points you want, but I recommend going down to research methods 3, because that'll mean you'll only use 1 argon gas per craft of amp instead of 2, which halves the amount of building we need to do for storage. Then head over to your research station and research performance enhancement 1. And with the power of science, we shall enable our pharmaceutical empire here. Also research all of the food and drinks things, and then in either your cooking station or your pharmaceutical station, make 5 things to unlock rank 2, and then 10 things after that, it could be the same 5 again that you used before, to unlock rank 3 of research methods. And then if, like me, you still need a point, head on over to Bessel III and craft adaptive frames. You'll need them later anyway. And then put a point into Botany 1. Head back over to Jemison and start scanning these plants here, the tufted snow willow and the cold cave nettle. Just walk up to them with your scanner out, press F to take out your scanner, and then hit E to scan them until you've scanned both plants to 100%. That'll allow you to then build greenhouses to cultivate metabolic agent and toxin. Next, go to Cheyenne and land in Aquila City. And when you land, follow my path here, take a left at Shepherd's. Go down the stairs here, hang a right, and we're looking for the Enhance shop right here. And we're going to go down the alleyway to the right of Enhance, and we're looking for Aggie's Bar right there. Inside, we'll speak to Ezekiel, who has the honor of being the only named companion that we can hire for free, and he'll help defend our outposts from attacks. Just pop him into your ship for now, and then head on over to the lodge back on New Atlantis to pick up Vasco for your crew as well. Then head back to UC Distribution, and we're going to start buying all the resources you can see on screen here. Just buy everything you find, whatever the quantities are, then head on over to Jemison Mercantile and repeat the same process. When you're done, go to Bessel III, your outpost there, wait for 1 hour, which resets all of the vendors in the game, head back to the commercial district, and repeat until you have about 100 cobalt, 72 fluorine, 54 sealants, and you need 54 reactive gauges, but you can just craft those later, so don't worry about that. And then go around emptying all of your outposts. Get all your iron, aluminium, your copper and nickel, and also all your tungsten out of the storage containers, and head on over to your Jemison Outpost. And then you're going to put a crew station down to assign Ezekiel and Vasco to defend this base, and we're going to build a static defense in the middle of the base with a tower. You can do this however you like. You can just put them around the outside. You can wait until you do get attacked and then put your Gatling turrets in front of the enemies, which has a really satisfying feel to it sometimes. And then when you're done putting down your Gatling turrets, build power. This is what we needed the cobalt for. This is a stylistic choice from me. I like to ring my landing pads in wind turbines. If you want to just build solar power, you can skip the cobalt part. And then we're going to build 102 storage containers for gas in 2 separate stacks of 51. The one being the input container that can clearly be identified, and then daisy chain them together until you have 2 stacks of 51. Build more adaptive frames if you need them. You need quite a lot. Go back to pick up resources from your other outposts if you need to. And then we're going to build 160 solid storage containers, and we're going to build them in 4 groups of 40. Well, technically 41, because I like to have the input container separated out at the top. When you're done, build water cans, 4 or 5 should do, and then put down water extractors. Now, I've read that you don't really need many of these, but every time I've tried to not put many down, it wasn't enough and it bottlenecked. I don't know how many water extractors you need, but I've built 10 here for this build and it seemed to work. They're basically free to build anyway, so build as many of them as you want. I built 10 here. And then for each of your gas storage towers, build 5 or 6 argon extractors. And here comes trouble, NPCs landing to attack us. Next, build 2 lines of greenhouses, one with 6 and the other with 12. Then put water cans near them and an output can, 2 for each line. That just makes linking easier later. And you're basically done with building. You can drop all of your resources if you want. You don't need them anymore, or you can keep them. And then if you go to the 6 greenhouses in the back, they should already be building metabolic agent. But the 12 greenhouses that I put in the front here need to be manually changed from metabolic agent over to toxin. You need to do this before you link them, because we in the far future are limited by the technology of our time, and we don't have any central control system or any way to remotely set the production. our greenhouses, and every time we change production, the links reset. So before you do anything else, come and manually set them to toxin for metabolic agent. And if you get attacked like this, don't worry, we've prepared well. So observe as Sarah face tanks like a boss. Ezekiel looks at his clipboard, and our Gatling tower melts every enemy before us. When the attack is done, just go manually from item to item that has been destroyed and hit C to repair. Anyway, back at your greenhouses, connect a water can to a greenhouse and put its output into one of the two boxes. You want to connect half to one box and half to the other box. And then connect the output boxes, one to each of your storage stacks, 2 for metabolic agent and 2 for toxin. Again, half to each box, which you then connect to its own storage tower. Then we head to Venus and land anywhere at all on the planet's surface. We get up from our pilot seat, sit on any other chair, and press B, and every hour we wait here is 100 UT hours. Extractors and stuff work on UT hours. I waited 20 hours in total and then headed back to my Jemison Outpost to manually inspect everything. Make sure all of your storage containers are turning green because they're full. Don't forget your gas cans. And if everything is good, head on over to the pharmaceutical bench, and you want to position your mouse so that when you hit E to craft, then left click and E again, it'll craft amp and it'll start crafting the next one. Xbox users, thank you for helping us out in the last video. Here's the comments showing how to do that. But on PC, just make yourself a macro. It'll make your life much easier. One crafting session made me about 24,000 amps. Now, because the amps only weigh 0.1 mass, you only need a cargo ship of about 2,400 capacity to carry them all. And if you want to learn how to make that cargo ship, or if you want to learn a trade route to be able to sell your amps for hundreds of thousands of credits per run, stay tuned to this channel. Those guides will be coming up very soon, but until then, that is all from me for now. Thanks for watching, and goodbye to you all.